What do you say, guys? The 8A game was not a game, and it was a scrimmage, and I thought it was pretty pathetic. And I'm going to talk about that, what we did see out there. We got a little bit of a look at some of the players, but all in all, probably going to be a little bit of a gripe session, not just about Alabama, but college football in general. But you guys tell me what you think in the comments section. This is the Bama Tailgate Show. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. I'd love to hear what you say. As I know, I talked to one guy that thought it was really cool. And then most of us kind of felt like, what the? What do you say, guys? Mick Gillespie, and great to talk to you today on the Bama channel, the Bama Tailgate channel. Is what we do here. But like and subscribe, and thanks for hanging out. We're brought to you by Pearl River. I mention that every day. All right, look. Thoughts on the game. I went and I sat with Clint Lamb. We sat in the stands, got to run into a lot of you guys yesterday, which was really cool and I think a little bit humbling at the same time that you guys make us part of your daily routine, whether it be here on this channel or whether it be over at Cover Crimson. But thank you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Now, I'm going to tell you that I didn't think the game or whatever you call that practice was any fun. I was out there. It was a really, really small crowd, even compared to last year's game, which was, kind of underwhelming. I mean, it wasn't like when in, Saban's first year in 09 or 07 or whatever, we had 92,000 at the spring game. That was kind of like, hey, guess what? We're coming, people. It feels like now, like, why even do it? If you want to do autographs and take pictures, then make that the event. But we're out there watching, guys just pass. It reminded me of being at the game early when I was a student at Alabama, and you had to get there 3 hours early, and then you'd sit there and watch all that kind of stuff, and hold your seat, and it just was an hour and a half of that. We got to see a little bit of play, but for the most part, it was just, stuff that you would watch on when you watch those Under Armour camps for high school kids, it was it was good to see you guys. It was fun to be at InnisFree and all that, but boy, that was underwhelming. And it's college football. It's not just Alabama. It's just college football. These teams are afraid of losing their players. I mean, look at Tennessee right now with their star quarterback leaving because NIL money and didn't show up to the last practice, and out he went. Whether it was the team or his decision, we don't know, but who cares? The guy's out. Now he's got to go try to find that $2 million and plus somewhere else. And I'm sure he will. But, that's what these coaches are all afraid of. They don't know what's going to happen with their players. There's a transfer portal that's about to open back up again. Some of those guys could leave and go other places. There's scouts there from other teams. So they want to see what you got, try to evaluate it and take it. And until there's guardrails, there's really nothing you can do about it. Now, we got to see all three of the quarterbacks. Ty Simpson was consistently the best during the drills. Austin Mack seemed to be kind of the worst. He was picked off a couple of times in the game. Keelan Russell threw an interception, but I'll tell you what, the way that the ball comes out of that kid's hands is it looks like he's throwing darts, boom, down the field. I'm really excited about him in the future, but this really feels like Ty Simpson's team, and then you'll just try to keep developing Austin Mack. But who knows? I mean, I've heard that Mack has been really good in practice, and so that's eventually going to translate onto the field. Now, wide receiver was a position we were all really excited about. How about Derek Meadows, the freshman? He had a pretty good catch, and I guess that was probably the 11-on-11 plays. The defense I thought was what we expected, right? And I like watching. Look, everyone was there wanting to watch Dijon Lee Mustard. And he got beaten coverage by Rico Scott. That was one of the biggest plays And then, Meadows had a touchdown as well, which is pretty cool. It was good to see Xavier Brown and Abdul Sanders. They both were able to go out there and get some stuff done with interceptions, which was nice. We saw a lot of Jam Miller running through, like the drills they do at the beginning of the game. I don't know what that even means. I mean, if you're, running against guys that aren't really tackling, but it looked like, he was hitting the holes that were there pretty good. I mean, I talk about this stuff with a smile on my face because you can't really evaluate any of it, but we didn't see Daniel Hill. I'll tell you what, Dre Washington was the transfer from Louisiana, looked pretty good. Got to catch him. Richard Young, we've been talking about that guy a lot. So that was pretty cool. And then, some of the guys that were back a little bit, running back A.K. Deere, the 4-star out of Mississippi, Kevin Riley from Tuscaloosa, both got a little bit of action out there. I didn't think that that Jeremy Bernard was going to play, but he was out there. We didn't see Ryan Williams, wasn't dressed. They said that, if anybody had any kind of nicks, they weren't going to play. It was good to see Isaiah Horton working with the first team and what he looked like in an Alabama jersey, pretty smooth. Jalen Hale and Jalen Mbakwe got a chance to look at them, looking at Mbakwe and kind of figuring out what's that going to be. And of course, Cole Adams. I wonder if, with all the depth at wide receiver, if Bama has to worry about some of those guys transferring. But, we saw the drills with those guys. I mean, obviously we know Hale can run, and it was, and I think right now, I mean, just kind of getting a look at Mbakwe because he tried to transfer already, and I don't know where he is on the depth chart, but he was out there as well. The tight ends were all on the sideline hurt. I mean, like Quavis, Lewis, Pritchard, all out. So those guys, is it Knutson, the walk-on, he's out there. Lindsey's out there. But, I mean, that's a position group I didn't really pay attention to because I feel like when all the guys that are going to play are on the sideline, what are you doing? Clint was paying close attention to the offensive line. I saw that as well. Cam Dewberry looks good in an Alabama uniform. Parker Brailsford's the leader of this offensive line. But we'll see how things go. And we keep hearing that that Jaden Roberts is finally healthy. That's a good sign. It was cool seeing the second line out there, though. Jackson Lloyd and Michael Carroll and Mel Waltrip and Joseph Ionetta and William Sanders. Micah Dubose, a guy at Rock Montgomery. So you get to see those guys in some of the drills as well. And, at the end of the day, it got hot. I went to Innisfree, and the thing was still going on. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I didn't do that. But Clint stayed out there, so I got a rundown of this. It wasn't fun. And I think that is, to me, the most important thing that you do during these. Maybe this was just what we get. We get a practice. It's kind of an open practice. But we used to get a game. And I think that the future, they need to bring back games and maybe even have real scrimmage games, like Alabama against Wake Forest or something, where you just, or UAB or somebody, where you just get to go out there and play. And they might not do that because they don't want injuries. But if you're going to worry about injuries, maybe you should go play something else like golf. I mean, it's a contact sport, and you can't, run behind being afraid of injuries. So, but you guys tell me what you think. I like I said, all in all, a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 3. It was a beautiful day. It was great to see the Alabama fans, but not a lot of folks showed up, and I don't blame them. And I had people on the postgame show on Cover Crimson saying, "Hey, well, why would I want to drive all that 3, 4, 5 hours to go sit at a scrimmage?" So Ohio State had a regular game. I think if Saban would have been here, they'd had a regular game. I think with DeBoer and the transfer portal and everything else, they're very skeptical of doing that. And and it is what it is. Now we move on from it and start to think about NFL Pro Day. The NFL Draft and the transfer portal, and then all of a sudden, you get into some other stuff that'll be around the corner. But we're brought to you by New Life Art. Now's the time to pimp out your man cave. Use the promo code Bama Tailgate, and you'll get 25% off until tomorrow. 25% off using our promo code Bama Tailgate at art.com. So I'm in a hotel room, obviously having one of Daniel Moore's great paintings behind me would be better than this one that is behind me right now. So, I mean, just think about what your house would look like with one. 25% off. Take advantage of that. And then we're always presented by Pearl River over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Love those guys. Love being a part of what they do every day, talking about them every day. The Masters going on right now. Who's going to win? You can go over there and pretend you're at the Masters at Dancing Rabbit Golf Course. It is the Augusta you can play. 2 amazing courses. They sunk millions of dollars into this place, and it looks the part, man. Okay. The Azaleas, the Oaks, go over there. Philip M. Steakhouse afterwards at Silver Star. You got concerts coming up like Vanilla Ice, Young MC, and CNC Music Factory. They were actually playing that yesterday at the stadium when I was walking in. I was like, oh yeah, we're Pearl River over there. Table games and slots, amazing slot collection. And then of course you've got the Timeout Sports Lounge in there. It's like a Vegas style sports book. So all that stuff available at Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. And we'll do it again tomorrow. Roll Tide.
To Pearl River Resort.